Tick, tick, boom. Washouts, rescues, power-busting blasts, coming soon. Now's when you need Arizona's Weather Authority. Our radar's fired up, storm commanders fueled up as we get you geared up for one explosive summer. Monsoon 2019, an Arizona Weather Authority special, starts right now.
With the flash of lightning and the roar of thunder,
the monsoon heralds its arrival in Arizona.
Dust storms roam the deserts, turning day into night.
Rain bombs explode over the landscape, producing microburst winds and torrential rain.
Flash flooding catches drivers unaware as first responders rush to save them.
And it seems at times there's lightning everywhere.
the time to prepare for Monsoon 2019 is now.
Hello and welcome to Monsoon 2019, an Arizona Weather Authority special.
This is our 30-minute primer to prepare you for our severe summer storms.
Ian Schwartz will tell us how to get your home ready for the season.
Kim Quintero on the latest dust storm detection technology.
And get this, Ashley DiMartino tells us the connection between babies and the monsoon.
But first, April Warnicki has a report on the most dangerous places to be during Monsoon 2019.
Monsoon rains bring an end to fire season and green back to our landscape. But some of the most beautiful spots in our state can become the most dangerous during the Arizona monsoon. Just below the Mogollon Rim near Payson, the East Verde River converges with Ellison Creek, creating a series of swimming holes, a respite for many from the valley heat.
We get a tremendous influx of people coming to the area to recreate, hiking, camping.
Waterville Fire District Chief Ron Saddlemeyer watches every summer as the crowds arrive. But the topography is different here than in the desert. The mountains block your view of distant storms.
They don't always understand that maybe 8 or 10 miles away there's a thunderstorm that they can't even see, dumping tremendous amounts of water.
Water that eventually moves downstream to where the shorelines are packed on hot summer days.
911, where's your emergency?
There is a man in the water and several other swimmers on the side of it.
10 people, all from the same family, were swept away here in July 2017. Water had picked up speed, moving downhill, full of wildfire debris like logs and boulders the size of cars. The water was about 20 to 25 feet higher that day than it is now. 2 years later, debris from that flash flood still lines the shore. Signs have since been posted in this area, but Chief Saddlemeyer says it's up to you to do some research on where you're going and what could happen.
They need to understand what's around them. They need to understand, okay, we're up here during the monsoon season. What happens during the monsoon? Occasionally flash floods.
Other flash flood danger zones include slot canyons like Antelope Canyon, where 11 tourists drowned in 1997, and downstream of any cliffs and canyons like those near Colorado City, where 12 people were swept away during a flash flood in 2015.
Oh my goodness! Oh dear, it went over the thing!
And just last year, hikers and campers had to be evacuated from Havasupai Falls when the monsoon floods turned the famous falls brown and washed out the roads. The best thing you can do is check the forecast before you head out on a trip or a hike, and keep in mind that the weather changes very quickly during monsoon season. You can't check the radar once you get to a spot like this with no cell service, which also means it's impossible sometimes to call for help when you need it.
Flash flooding is a dangerous and sometimes deadly phenomenon that happens every year during our monsoon. But rescue crews say there are a few things you can do to stay alive if you find yourself in this situation.
There's not a vehicle that's really a match for this to get through these big flash floods.
At Lake Pleasant, members of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Aviation Division and Mountain Rescue Posse train by simulating water rescues. A real-life scenario that plays out too often in Arizona, but one that can be avoided.
Once you're out there trapped in these things, it gets really dangerous really quick.
That's why you should never cross a flooded road in your vehicle.
People get out there, they get in a hurry, they're impatient. If you sit for 30 minutes, most of this water's gone.
According to FEMA, as little as 6 inches of water can cause you to lose control and even stall your car. A foot of water can actually float most vehicles, and 2 feet is enough to carry away SUVs and pickup trucks. If you do get stuck, don't panic. call 911.
Realize that when help does get there, you may have to help get yourself out of the car.
Pay attention to rescuers.
And follow your hand signals, follow the audio commands. You may have people coaching you from the shoreline.
If a helicopter assists in your rescue, don't jump at it.
So many people have been swept away by doing that. Wait, the crew knows what they're doing. They will come within inches of you.
Outdoor enthusiasts are also at high risk for a bad situation. Last September, 16 hikers were rescued by helicopter out of Aravaipa Canyon in Pinal County when flash floods hit. Experts advise that before heading out, check flood history, fire history, and weather forecasts for the area. Avoid canyons, waterfalls, and swimming holes, and be on the lookout for signs of a flash flood, like rumbling, changes in what's floating in the water, speed, level, and color. If flash flooding hits, immediately head for higher ground and stay put until help arrives. If you do get swept away, grab or climb onto something as soon as you're able to. As you move through the water, float backwards on your back so that you can push away from any large debris flowing towards you. Also, yell and wave your arms for help. A worst-case scenario, but keeping these tips in mind will increase your chances of survival.
We all know what the monsoon brings each year: the rain, the dust, the deadly lightning. But how does the monsoon form? Here's the science behind the storms. We call it the North American monsoon. Here in the Grand Canyon State, in June, we usually see dry winds out of the west. But by July and August, those winds shift around and come from the south and the southeast. That wind shift funnels moisture into Arizona from the Gulf of California and the Gulf of Mexico. That moisture is fuel for our storms. As the seasonal moisture moves in, the combination of change in elevation from low desert to high mountain terrain mixed with daytime heating gives us all the ingredients for storms to develop.
Sky Harbor shut down basically right now. Nothing's taken off or landing because of, look how dark those clouds are.
The monsoon can mean big problems at Sky Harbor Airport, causing air traffic control to divert flights when thunderstorms are in the area. Jeff Senior worked as a pilot for Southwest Airlines for 25 years. He says during the monsoon, pilots need to be alert at all times.
They're beautiful to look at. There's no question. They get up in the summertime up to 40 to 60,000 feet. They're definitely nothing you want to fly in.
Thunderstorms have all the ingredients that could cause damage to a plane: wind shear, severe turbulence, lightning, hail, and heavy rain. Jeff now flies for elite flight jets out of Scottsdale, and he says the tools they have in the cockpit are a big help.
Radar technologies come, our radar screens are just these beautiful TV screens of a picture display of where those thunderstorms are, and what's going on. So where it used to be like a green screen, like a Pong game almost.
Even with all the technology, communication with other pilots is key.
There's a lot of camaraderie amongst the pilots to kind of help each other out.
When a monsoon strikes the valley, first responders are ready to jump into action. They do year-round training to make sure they can help you if you're caught in a tough situation.
Our biggest concern is people or vehicles, or people in their vehicles getting into the water.
During training, Mesa firefighters work on several aspects of technical rescue, but their main focus...
We'll spend anywhere from 12 to 20 hours just on the swift water rescue portion of that.
They work on rescue techniques with ladders, ropes, and boats. They do the training on the Salt River, or...
We will also use the Central Arizona Project Canal.
And it's not just first responders that train year-round.
We have a responsibility to keep people in power.
So do SRP linemen, and this is where they come to get their supplies.
This is a critical facility in the response to any monsoon events.
Welcome to the yard, where SRP has poles, transformers, ground wire, and pretty much anything and everything needed to get the power restored during a monsoon.
We go through training and preparation really all year long.
SRP prepares with in-classroom and on-the-job training.
Pole change-outs, we do a lot of what we consider our hot sticking and changing out transformers and spreading wire and just doing different scenarios in a controlled training yard.
Whether it's a fireman or a lineman, they work 24/7 during the monsoon.
It's called the silent killer, and each summer claims more lives than dust storms, lightning, and flash flooding combined. The silent killer? Our heat. The hot summers of Arizona are a huge component of what makes the monsoon engine roar to life. But taken alone, heat claimed 181 lives last year, a number that's been growing quickly this century. And the urban myth is that most of the victims are visitors to Arizona, not accustomed to our heat.
Out-of-towners actually account for a very, very small share of the number of heat-related deaths we have here. Most people who experience heat-related deaths, the vast majority, have lived in Arizona for a long time.
Dave Hondula is an expert on urban heat from Arizona State University, and he knows the toll that excessive heat can take.
And those deaths are accompanied by thousands of cases of heat-related illnesses that produce visits to the emergency department, overnight hospitalizations, and other formal care. And unfortunately, we see those numbers trending upwards.
In our air-conditioned bubbles, we can sometimes forget how quickly the Arizona heat can become deadly.
There's no dispute that our hottest days that occur in mid to late June and into early July, when the thermometer can push 120, that's when the risk is highest for everyone. So we need to be the most cautious on the hottest days.
And Hondula says summers in Metro Phoenix will keep getting hotter, half of the gain from urbanization, the other half from global warming.
Coming up as the Monsoon 2019 continues, what to do when a monsoon storm catches you while driving.
And a lightning bolt out of the blue ends up in a miracle for a Valley family. Monsoon 2019, an Arizona Weather Authority special, continues after this. Welcome back to our special Monsoon 2019.
Well, as we get you ready for this year's stormy season, Arizona's Weather Authority is looking back at last year's monsoon. Let's recap the monsoon of 2018. The official recording site at Sky Harbor Airport received 2.6 inches of rainfall. That's just 0.08 of an inch below normal.
Look at all that dust swirling in the air, just tons and tons of dust.
Some of the most notable storms were that dust storm and the strong winds that swept through central Phoenix on July 9th. That same storm blew the roof off at this Airport Inn on 25th Street in Van Buren.
Well, there it goes. Holy.
And do you remember this? On the final day of July, where a palm tree snapped right in half, crashing down on a roof of a condo. This happened in the West Valley, and luckily no one was hurt, but several Valley residents were without power that evening. We had an impressive light show with lightning around Tempe Town Lake on August 10th, and on August 23rd, that storm brought over 2 inches of rain and flooded streets in North Phoenix. Washes were flowing, and the evening commute was a mess.
Every year, Arizona gets hit by lightning about 500,000 times. Most of that occurs during the summer monsoon. It's a lot of lightning, and it all strikes without warning. This is the park in El Mirage where Josiah Weidman and his friend Javier Tapia were hit by lightning last August. A rogue strike hit the two, throwing Weidman into the air. His mother, Krista, was alerted by friends and came running.
When you got here, they were still working on him and he was still not responding?
He was still lifeless. He was like a log. They were taking him on the stretcher and I said, is he breathing? And they said, not like we would like him to.
Of the two boys, Weidman was hurt the worst and put in a medically induced coma for 3 days. Josiah has no memory of the lightning strike, but he has seen the video.
I see it happen and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
Josiah suffered a concussion, so he's lost most of that week, but his mother remembers all too well.
Lightning bolts, electrical blasts did cause him to fly up in the air and drop him on his head. He did have some leg pain as well in his left leg, but it did go away shortly after his hospital stay, and he's pain-free today.
And the skateboard? Josiah was holding it when the lightning struck, and doctors say it may have shielded him from worse. Josiah says he won't use it anymore.
No, I don't use it. It's like my baby. I don't touch it anymore.
Josiah and his friend made full recoveries, but the entire family is more wary of thunderstorms these days.
I'm not afraid of it, however, I'm very more cautious of it.
When it comes to dust storm related crashes, this is by far the most dangerous stretch of freeway within the entire state of Arizona. We are between Eloy and Picacho Peak. This is where the Arizona Department of Transportation is installing new technology to help keep you and your family safe.
The monsoon season is a crazy season.
As thunderstorm winds kick up, farmer Mark Schneff knows all too well how quickly the sky turns reddish brown.
We get these giant walls of dust that come in usually from the southeast or even from the southwest, and it's awful.
Drivers are blinded, traffic is snarled, and too often, deadly crashes happen. According to data from the University of Arizona, a major contributor to Arizona's massive dust storms, fallow land.
Farmers sometimes don't have enough water in order to farm all of their property, and so they will leave some of it without anything growing on it. That's called fallow.
Researchers estimate there's nearly 300,000 acres of fallow land between Maricopa and Pinal counties and expect that number to grow.
You look to the west from here, all you see is open desert.
You fix the problem by providing enough water. We're in drought conditions on the Colorado River, so those farmers aren't getting enough CAP water in order to farm that land.
Without a quick solution, ADOT is constructing a warning system for drivers, a dust detection zone made up of a series of radars along this 15-mile stretch of I-10 between Phoenix and Tucson, where half of all dust-related crashes happen.
This will tell them there's blowing dust ahead, slow down. We'll have variable speed limit signs to slow people down. We'll have message boards to get them the information they need to pull aside, stay alive.
That radar detection system is expected to be up and running by late September.
One of the worst places you can get caught during a monsoon thunderstorm is in your car. Here's what you need to know if that happens.
Towering dust storms reducing visibility to zero, torrential downpours leaving cars underwater. We see it every monsoon. Doug Pacey is with ADOT and says flash flooding can easily sweep your car away. His best advice, never cross a flooded road or wash. Wait or find another way around.
We see it all the time here on the boards behind us, vehicles hydroplaning. They don't have enough time to stop. It's not a regular road condition.
Pacey says if you see a dust storm in the distance, don't drive into it.
There's another kind that we call a dust channel. It's something that can whip across the freeway very quickly.
If you get caught in a dust channel, Pacey says pull over as far as you can to the side of the road. Take your foot off the brake and turn off your lights.
And then wait out the storm and drive once the dust has cleared.
Always pay attention to the forecast, and if you know storms are going to be out there, it's best to stay home and off the roads.
When Monsoon 2019 continues, how to protect your home from summer storms.
Weather babies, it's a thing. You're not going to want to miss this story. I'll tell you the correlation between the monsoon and women going into labor.
The best way to stay in the know this monsoon season is with our free AZ Family app. You can find an hour-by-hour forecast. We have live and interactive radar. You can zoom right into your neighborhood, see where it's raining and see what's coming your way. You'll also see storm warnings as soon as they're issued. You can also get the latest on the APS and SRP outage maps. And if you're curious too about just how much rain fell in your area, we've got rainfall totals on there too. Download it now to get ahead of the storm.
Welcome back to Monsoon 2019.
We'd like to introduce you to Storm Commander.
This is a huge vehicle that's going to be out chasing storms. It's basically a weather center and a TV station on wheels. In the front seat, the reporter is going to have access to 6 different cameras, and in the back seat, we'll also be able to edit video in real time. Oh, did I mention we had a weather station on top?
Look at this, Royal. We got our HD camera over here to my left. A rain bucket tells how much rain we get in a certain area. Our weather station gives us the current temperature. And very important, when a dust storm moves into the area, we've got our anemometer, gives us the wind direction and wind speed.
The bottom line is, as soon as storms pop up on radar, this is the vehicle we're going to deploy. It's called Storm Commander.
Our first line of defense.
We all know the monsoon can cause big problems on the roads, but it can sure wreak some havoc on your home too. Not to worry, I have some good ways you can prepare now before the storms roll in.
The pool is clean and it's a peaceful sunny day in Howard Singer's backyard. But after 45 years in the valley, Howard knows it won't stay that way for long this summer.
We've had pool furniture in the pool. We've had umbrellas snap in half
We have seen trees literally bend. These big trees that have been here 30 plus years actually bend in the wind.
Scottsdale's emergency manager, Brent Olson, knows this all too well. He says you want to trim your trees before the monsoon so they don't catch the wind and maybe snap.
There's not as much density to block that wind, which can take down the tree.
Be sure to tie down patio furniture or anything outside that can become airborne during a storm.
Umbrellas disappear and can do damage. They go through windows, they injure people. If you've experienced flooding in the past and you've experienced that water up to the door and maybe up to the threshold, take some action now. By the time the rain starts, it's too late. You've got to prepare before the event happens to be effective.
Don't cry, little guy. What do babies have to do with the monsoon? We'll tell you next.
When there's a monsoon storm, labor and delivery nurses know it's going to be a busy night.
Whenever we see a monsoon coming in, I automatically think of work.
Tanya Brookshire has been a labor and delivery nurse for 20 years, and every summer she sees a rush of moms in her department whenever there is a monsoon.
Something with the barometric pressure changes.
That's right. According to babymed.com, changes in barometric pressure can cause a woman who is late in her pregnancy to go into labor.
It causes the bag of water to break.
This is really for those moms that are ready to deliver and their bag of waters are really stretched to the max, and Mother Nature just kind of pushes it over the edge.
Mother Nature acting as a natural induction method that most women in labor don't even know about.
No, they have no idea. It's usually us telling them, oh yeah, your water broke because of the weather outside. And they're like, what? They'll usually question us.
So this summer, remember, every time the skies go dark and the thunder roars, a new group of storm babies is born.
All right, it is time for our annual monsoon forecast.
I'm going to get started with the easy part. We're expecting a hotter than normal summer.
No surprise there, Royal. But we're also expecting the onset of the monsoon to be a bit delayed, so don't expect much rain in the first half of the season.
But in late August and September, we're looking for a surge of moisture resulting in a wetter than normal monsoon. Thanks for watching Monsoon 2019, an Arizona Weather Authority special.
That was fun. And don't forget, when storms pass, you can follow Arizona's family from our news app, social media pages, and our website.
Be safe out there this summer, and thanks for watching.